What's up, people? This is Denny.
And this is James from TeaDB, bringing you the next part of our Liu'an series.
Let's do it.
So thank you to Varat for sending us this cheese again. We are going to use a clay vessel for this. I normally use this for pour. I don't have one dedicated to this sort of tea for obvious reasons.
Right.
And yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
We are going to be going hard in the paint. This looks like, and I love saying that about tea sessions, one of my favorite things. How was your tea session? We went pretty hard in the paint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but
Dwight Howard sucks.
right. Important. Just get that in there. But the actual vessel here is somewhat significantly smaller. Maybe 90, 70?
It's around 95 to 100.
Okay.
So yes, you are correct. We will be using going a little bit harder.
So from a percentage basis, we're probably going to increase hypothetically, we're increasing the potency by like 60% on a volume perspective. But nevertheless, this older tea we've heard from Varat should... Ooh. Actually smells less aromatic than the younger one. This older one is going to stand some serious heat and excited.
So this tea is from the 1970s supposedly, so it is older than 80s people like us.
Yep. Oh no, they know our identities. Damn it. 80s.
It's okay, that's very ambiguous.
That's true. Yeah. Let's give it a smell.
Yep. It'll be really interesting. We'll probably do a couple brews of the 2000s too, just to see how it matches up.
Man. Both the 2000s version as well as the 1970s version have some interesting aromas coming out of them, I would say.
You did make a promise that you were going to be more crude in this episode.
That's true. These smell a little gnarly. And we'll get more crude as we go, trust me.
Yeah, okay.
Look at the liqueur there. Interesting.
So actually not as dark as you would
not
expect.
yet at least.
Okay, that smells different for sure.
My God, it smells different.
It doesn't actually smell as danky.
No, it doesn't at all.
In fact, it smells nice and...
It doesn't smell as wet. And these were stored in Hong Kong, correct?
No, I believe so. No, well, Thailand more recently,
okay.
But I know Varat, he bought most of his from Hong Kong.
So. The majority of the duration of its longevity has been in pretty wet. I mean, not that Hong Kong is dry by any stretch of the imagination.
Wet and wet.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So, cool. And then in terms of parameters and all that jazz, we have 90, 95. Wow, that color go right there.
And Varat did say that I could go reasonably hard for this tea.
Right. Looks like we are.
So, yeah.
That went from orange to red.
That being said, we're getting maybe slightly darker than the other tea, right?
Right.
So,
although you'll expect that red color to form as teas age, at least for some of these teas.
Right.
At least for a pu'er tea. Put it that way.
And I noticed in this that there weren't any clumps at all, so unlike the last one.
Which means for you folks out there who are noobs, it means that this tea will probably brew out a little bit more quickly. Yeah. Which is good. I get a little bit of that age smell going on in there. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It smells really different than the previous version.
Yeah, let's go for it.
And this is going to be hot.
Cheers, guys.
Much sweeter. And then really dry age taste going on. But I feel like the front of it's significantly sweeter than the other one.
Yeah, but also the taste of it is surprisingly similar to me. Like more so than I would expect from the aromas. Yeah. A really strong wood note, a very particular one too.
Definitely, I was going to say that exact same thing. It has a very, very deep bark. Not quite leather, not quite tobacco, but just like a brown bark flavor to it. It's a little bitter, actually.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think it's great. It's
Yeah.
very like energizing and kind of it has that sort of like this is healthy for you taste.
So
like, oh, okay, it's good for me, whatever.
Yeah.
But in actually for me a pleasant way. This is also just I'm experiencing this a lot more residually here. The potency pretty significantly more potent, in my opinion.
Yeah, the bitterness. I think that's a great point. Like, it's strong in a really
Good way.
I don't know. It's different. Yeah, it's not like as soft and mellow as like that old Leo Bao. That
Very surprising too, because as one would probably assume, these sorts of flavors would cool off with aging. Wow.
And I will say, Denny, that this is and that's very dark. Yes.
Yeah.
That this is a tea that people will age for maybe the longest amounts of time. Like you'll see videos where people are opening up tea from like the 1910s, 1930s.
Wow.
And they're finally like opening the basket. And it's
That's
like
cool.
an opening the basket ceremony. So I don't know
Totally.
if you hide your Easter eggs too
Spirits
well.
Come out like Casper the Ghost.
Yeah.
As well. So.
Yeah.
My God, look at how dark that is. So this really is reading like a dark, strong, ripe pu'er, and in the cup, but I'm sure it won't taste like that. So let's give it a shot. Just deep auburn.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Potent.
Yeah. Do you think it's too strong like this?
No.
Okay.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's just like an ass kicker. This is like I don't know. I cannot drink a lot of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Not a daily drinker. This is fun. Because I feel like a lot of these teas that we've had, they're so strong, but some of the notes that, I don't know. This one's a little bit quixotic. It's like, it tastes younger by a lot than it is, in my opinion.
It tastes younger for what we understand of something like pu'er.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Because I don't know what, maybe the aging trajectory of this is just much slower.
This, for me, and James might have a different opinion, but this really does taste a lot more like a ripe than a raw in comparison to our last session. For me, at least. I'm getting more of those brown, barky sort of flavors.
I kind of agree. To me, it's something that's very different, just from both of those.
Excuse me.
All right, yeah, we're going to reboil this.
Cool. And in terms of the quality of the leaf, in terms of the core, in terms of the funkiness, if there's any sort of storage smell, James, any comment on any of that?
Storage smell?
Or taste?
I don't know. Hard to say.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me right now to differentiate what is like storage here versus just natural age
right.
versus that. So I'm not sure. I'm kind of experiencing a lot of these things for the first time as well.
I'm not really getting anything off-putting or funky. So I'd say regardless, it's not. It's been stored well, and
that too.
Yeah, it's not like I'm drinking a dust soup.
Yeah. And I get these. The lingeringness is like barky, but it's also really kind of weirdly sort of in that tobacco vein for me.
Definitely.
Yeah, old cigar tobacco.
Yeah, this has a very earthy, sort of spicy desert dirt kind of a feel for it, me at least. And this continues to brew up, quite dark.
Yeah. And I think maybe we'll do a steep back of the 2000s before coming
That'd be
back
great.
to this.
That'd be great, yeah. And the color is actually a really wonderful, brilliant red. How's your energy and all that from this?
I'm trying to figure that out too. To me, I feel like I might be getting some energy of sort of like a very relaxing sort.
Yeah.
Definitely kind of a very... It's not totally comfortable because it's just so strong.
Yeah.
But it's like I could not chug this tea.
Yeah.
Like I could for some old pu'ers or old Liu Baos, but It is interesting.
The viscosity just blowing on it. The I'm trying to remember the wine phrase for it. The run or whatever it's called, where they have splish the wine on the sides and then they see the draw. Is that what it's called? Anyway, I can't remember, but the residual liquid surrounding when you just sort of splash it around, it's just thick. It's got this viscosity. This is the kind of stuff that would like stain your shirt. Okay. I really like this. There's something oddly satisfying about the like intersection between kind of like branch flavors and sweetness that this is kind of hitting perfectly. I don't think this would pass the mom test though.
No.
But I think that like plenty of tea weirdos would really enjoy this.
I think tea weirdos would definitely enjoy this,
Yeah.
especially if you're inclined towards stranger flavors or more Heicha, like pu'er type flavors.
I would call this like bold but smooth.
Yeah. Very warming tea for me.
Yeah.
Very, very heating.
Okay, this is going to be exciting. So, we just had 3 cups of the 70s.
Yep.
And
this is the 4th steep of this one, so
Perfect.
let's do a quick smell test.
yeah, definitely.
It's really a deeper, darker
Yeah.
smell to the 70s that
Yeah.
really stands out when you do
Because now this smells much more like fruit and floral. This really does have those, the younger one really does, for me at least, have more of those floral and sweet notes now in comparison to the more stronger and potent older ones. So
Yeah.
let's give it a shot. This is the 70s, 2000s.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I think we'll probably be able to tell. Wow.
You can really see how they're similar.
Yeah. It's like a little bit higher note focus.
Exactly.
I maybe even pick up on some fruit.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't picking up on before.
Totally, yeah.
The contrast really stands out. It's lighter.
Yeah, absolutely. I get more of those sort of plum fruit vibes now. Not that it's strong, but compared to the older version, and the older version has, like James was just saying, the sort of just like strength and depth, and just kind of, I don't know, it's just a more full and potent brew. This is still plenty strong, but it is lighter. It does have lighter notes. This is actually like a perfect demonstration of how aging affects flavor.
Yeah.
It really feels different, and yet still tasting a lot of the similarity. Pretty awesome. Both of these have a moderate to heavy sort of tobacco-y flavor profile, in my opinion.
They do. It's almost stronger in the older tea.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah.
And I can't tell if that's like it would have been more intense when it was the same age as the 2000s or not, but it is interesting.
I wouldn't call these smoky per se. They sort of are
Right.
a little bit more spicy to me.
Yeah. I've heard the term used retired smoke.
Huh.
And it's sort of like smoke converting into other flavors. So maybe when it's young, it was retired. It was actual smoke and sort of tastes more like that.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that might be a little bit more applicable than just like saying it's smoky.
Yeah, no, yeah, totally. Or not, yeah. This is fun and delicious. So, we're not done with the episode yet, but for folks out there, James, who want to try something like this, what should they do? What would be your recommendation?
Well, you can contact Varat.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, he is the person that has these
Just look
teas,
this
so
Yeah.
I think he is still doing this tasting, and I didn't tell you this yet, but we have one more. We're not going to do it today, but it's 1950s.
Oh my God.
Next, in a couple episodes, perhaps we will be
Excellent.
bringing on some more of this stuff, which I think should be a very appropriate conclusion. I think it's just too much for today.
Yeah.
Frankly speaking. These are, I mean, like, this is a tea. It's like some of those teas get old and so smooth and so easy to drink, and that's wonderful. But this
Not
is like
that tea.
this is not the tea. This is old and intense, and it's also great. But it's it's not something that we're gonna be having 10 of them in a session.
This one now tastes a little bit sweeter too. I think as the intensity of the bitterness is dying off a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's dark still, it's softening up just a tad.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really wonderful. And if you folks out there want to try teas that have been aged with a 10 or 20 year gap out there, I think my best recommendation would just be to email the vendor that you're trying to get tea from and ask them for a recommendation. They are in the business. They taste all their teas regularly. And, someone like Varat or Scott or whoever, you can even shoot us an email potentially. We do charge a hourly commission, of course.
Yes,
of course.
Yeah, and we charge times before we even see the email. We always round up too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
PayPal us.
Don't do that. Any of that. But this is a really fun way of drinking tea. Way of experiencing the flavor associated with aging teas, and something that we've done quite a few times on the show now, luckily. But for folks out there who haven't had this experience yet, it might be kind of a fun, interesting thing to do with yourself or with a tea nerd, your friend, whatever.
Yeah, split the cost.
Totally.
Old tea is not known for being inexpensive, so doing that. Do you want to do any more on camera? Or we film?
Man, I think I'm good.
Audible.
Wow.
Okay. We will be calling it there. I think we definitely drank enough to sort of taste the difference between these two teas.
Yes.
And do you prefer one over the other?
I think I found the older one slightly more exciting.
Me too.
I was surprised by how punchy it was in a good way.
I know. It's impressive. It makes me think that perhaps it was made to be stronger and more for aging than this younger one.
Yeah,
but it's a pretty interesting comparison. I mean, this is now probably around 40 years old versus like 10 to 18. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows what it was like when it was first?
Yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah.
Seriously.
But yeah, we'll probably be bringing on that 1950s one in a couple episodes, so we are looking forward to that.
If you folks want to learn more about Varat, check out Varat's blog, Guide to Puerty.
That's right. Yeah, it's on Blogspot.
Just Google that, Blogspot. And then, of course, check us out at TeaDB.org for plenty of content similar to this weekly episode. Plus a ton of articles, guides, price comparisons, vendor comparisons. James has done all of the things related to these things.
I just count as very prolific at this point.
Yeah, totally. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Also, make sure to send this to your mom because we love her.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
We'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Mother's Day was way